Most people quit journaling because they make one of the following mistakes: being too rigid, writing for others, overcomplicating things, being inconsistent, or just simply turning it into something that it's not. And if you fix one or all of these things, journaling can actually be a great way for you to seek clarity and reduce anxiety. If you look at some of my old journals here, you could see that I started out the journals, but I didn't actually finish them. Some techniques worked really well, some techniques did not, and a lot of the techniques that discouraged me kind of kept me from doing it. Until one day I realized that I needed to make journaling something that was more of my own, and once I realized that, I started journaling more consistently and produced all kinds of journals. And first off, let's talk about mistake number one, and that's trying to make things too perfect. Journaling isn't Instagram art, and if it takes you 30 minutes to make it look good, you're probably not going to keep it up. So one solution that I found was a lot of these different ways that we do journaling, especially bullet journaling, is it takes a lot of time to craft out things to make it look pretty or aesthetically pleasing, when in reality, for some people like myself, I don't necessarily need that. I do want it to be structured and organized. I want my handwriting to look pretty good, but overall, I don't need to be adding stickers or pictures or drawings or all those other things. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if those are things you feel like you need in there, but they also cause you not to journal, that's something that you need to eliminate. Sometimes less is more when it comes to doing anything, especially when we're talking about journaling. Problem number two is writing for someone else. And I know what you might be thinking there, but hear me out on this one. So I'm not saying that we're actually writing our journal for someone else, but if we write our journals with the mindset that somebody else is going to be reading it or editing it or changing things, sometimes we might not be true enough to ourselves, and it might make us not actually want to write in our journals because we don't feel like we can write everything that we would want to. The more honest we can be in our journals and feel comfortable and confident that we can talk about anything we need to, the better. And if you really are worried that somebody else is going to read them, there's a lot of different things you can do to prevent that. Although I promote more handwritten journals, there are some digital journals where you can do full encryption, and if somebody doesn't have the password to get in, they're not going to get to see those journals. So another thing you could do is write your journal entries, be as honest as you need to, and if it's not something you need to go back and reference later, you could either shred or burn that piece of paper once you're done. Hopping on into mistake number three, and that is overcomplicating the system. We're humans. Typically, we like things to be simple. Some of us like complex problem solving and things of that nature, but when it comes to things like journaling, it should be as simple as possible, because after all, journaling is a way for you to release your thoughts or to think more clearly or to reduce stress and anxiety. But if you're overcomplicating it, you're causing more of those things, and that's not what we want to do. Some examples of this are trying 10 different methods at once, doing daily logs, gratitude lists, mood trackers, and getting burnt out. And that's exactly what happened to me when I first started doing the bullet journal method. I started tracking different habits that I was into, I was doing my daily logs, I was recapping it the week, I was trying to add in all these other trackers because I thought I had to do all those things, and also because I wanted to try out different things to see what was going to work. But I found that the more I overcomplicated the process, the less likely I was to pick up that journal. So what I did was create a simple 3-journal system. 1 for writing my daily entries whenever I felt the need to write in my journal. 2, a pocket journal that I could carry with me when nothing else was around for me to take notes or to write down things, ideas, quotes, or just whatever else I wanted to put into it. And the 3rd was my bullet journal, so I could do a little bit of planning here and there, a little bit of tracking day to day, but only through the methods that worked and served me well. And speaking of consistency, mistake number 4 is being inconsistent with your journaling. I know early on one of the problems I had was I would write real heavily for a few days or even a few weeks, and then something would come up and I would forget about my journaling for a while and not come back to it until weeks, months, or maybe even years later. And because I was creating these huge gaps, it made me not even want to pick up the same notebook and start where I finished off again. So this often led to me picking up new notebooks and starting all over again until I had this big stack of notebooks that were half started and none finished. I also had the mindset that if I missed a day that I'd failed in my journaling. But once I allowed myself to believe that I only needed to journal when I needed to, that I didn't have to force it upon myself, that I feel a lot better with it. And actually not holding myself accountable to journaling every single day made me journal a lot more often. But journaling can be as simple as sitting down for 5 minutes every day and just writing down the things you're grateful for. It could be the highlights of the day that you hope to have, Or in the evening, you can reflect in a sentence or two about the day that you had. And finally, mistake number 5 is turning this into just some other type of hustle. The way that I like to think about it is if journaling ever feels like homework or chores or just some type of busy work that you have to do, then you're missing the point and you're not going to do it. Journaling needs to be fun, and always be sure to make it a way that it is going to help you with productivity, but it's not going to become the productivity, if that makes sense. If you've tried that and you've failed because of that reason, you know exactly what I'm talking about, so I don't really have to explain it a lot. If you haven't experienced that yet, I hope you don't, but once you do, you'll have a better understanding of what exactly it is that I'm talking about here. See, the truth is, journaling really only fits your life and benefits you when you make it something that is your own system that is subject to you, because we are all different as far as people. The things we go eat, the types of cars we drive, the clothes we wear, the way we style our hair, it's all different. If we all looked and acted exactly the same, life would be pretty boring. And it's the same way with your journal and your journaling system. So if you've been stressed out by journaling, fixing just one of these mistakes is probably going to fix your problems. And it won't happen overnight, so don't think that just in an instant you're going to magically have this perfect journaling system. Journaling is a lot like a journey. It's a part of the process. Journaling's not a destination. You can write about some of the destinations in your journaling, but you should always be changing and evolving your system to fit your life, because throughout your life, that's going to change as well. But I hope today's video helped you out in some way. I have a whole playlist of journaling videos if you want to go check some more of those out. Journaling is something that I've been doing for a number of years, but I got extra serious about it about 2 years ago, and I just want to share that with everybody. So no matter where you are on your journey right now, I wish you the best, and as always, be sure to create something new.